Hello everybody, my name is Sophie and welcome back to another video. We have gathered here today for the last video of this year. I know. The year is over, several books have been read. And so what better way to end the year than with a ranking video. Legendary ranking video. I did it last year. Did this year again. I read 18 books this year, which is not that much. Honestly, I'm not gonna put myself down over it, because I read long books. All the people that read multiple 100 books every year, you have to be aware that those books are usually not that long, so they can read more, okay? Just in case you feel bad over the amount of books you read, don't worry, I probably read less than you. All of my books were 1 or 2 star reads this year. That's the norm here, in case you're new. Don't worry, that's normal. I think I shouldn't talk so much right now. I'm just gonna get into it, but first, I'm gonna give a shout out to my members. My members, my book haters. We have the book hate club today. I lost the R. I don't know where it is, so it's just the book hate club. They get my videos a day early, they get exclusive stickers. Oh my god, there's a new sticker. To all my members, there's a new sticker, go check it out. They get exclusive content like my review at movie commentary, they get to vote on my next reads, and they also get a shout out, which we're gonna do right fucking now. My members are Haley B, Ashley Ranger B, Mrs. Preminger, Trinity ELW, Clara S, Kushimita, Deja, Queen Sif, Courtney, Asteria, Haley Charles, I want to say Haley Ashley. Who's that? I just did a ship name for my members. Grace and Lacey Lace EDC. Thank you so much, guys, for being members. The next year is gonna be great. I'm gonna do some new stuff. I hope. Other than that, again, I rated all of these books poorly, and if you like these books, then that's fine with me. I'm not coming for you personally. Like, this is not supposed to be an attack on you. If you enjoy this, I'm happy for you. I probably like things that you don't like, and so to each their own. This is just meant for fun. Okay, let's get into it. So, this is the tier list. This is the holy tier list of today. I made it myself with Tier Maker, of course. So let me explain the tiers to you, okay? As I said, there was only one 3-star read. That's like a 5-star for me, honestly, if we're going at this rate. And the other books were all 1 or 2 stars, but I don't remember which books I gave 2 stars to, because I think now by the end of the year, I kind of settled into a I'm just gonna give everything 1 star. I'm not gonna differentiate because whatever. I'm too lazy to think about like what it means to be a 2-star. So we have the top, and I actually don't really know if these are like from best to worst. I think they're just tiers, you know what I mean? It's just like, they're just there. Boring. There is no bigger crime than being boring. I always say that there's 2 different kinds of bad books. The funny bad and the bad and the boring bad. I think it's worse to be boring bad, because then there's not even anything to make fun of, and it's just really frustrating. Whereas a funny bad book, you actually get to giggle a little bit, because you're like, okay, this is just like, I can make fun of this. So I think it kind of goes hand in hand with the I don't remember anything, which, as I said, I made this video last year, and this was also a tier then. I have a really bad long-term memory, and so I think this is gonna go for a lot of the books that I read earlier this year. But also, this is kind of a thing of where I'm gonna put the books if I don't remember the main character's name. You know? And they were funny bad. And if they're boring, and I don't remember the main character's name, they're gonna go in boring. Let porn be porn. Some people just take the smut too far, guys. I'm sorry. Anything but therapy, that's a very specific tier for some books. It makes people think they've read a Lord of the Rings. That one I put because I kind of try to view, sometimes when I remember to do it at least, the books that I've read out of the perspective of out of 14-year-old Sophie. If you're new here, by the way, if you came from my TikTok, because I have to tell you guys, I posted a TikTok of my best of 1-star reviews this year. I did part 1 and part 2. A lot of people started following me on TikTok. A lot of people started following me on Goodreads, and I also got a bunch of subscribers, which I think came from that video, so welcome. And whenever you post something like that, as a creator like me, people start arguing in the comments. They start having full arguments. Someone said in the comment, she hasn't rated a book 5 stars since 2016. That's when I was 15. I liked everything that I read when I was 14 and 15. That was my hype reading year. Just in case you're new here and you don't know that, now you know. So don't take those at face value. I was just a reader, and now I am a reader! An angry one. And then the last one is Nightmare, which is also actually specifically for 1 book, but maybe we'll put more in that. I think these tiers are sufficient enough but if I feel like there's something missing, I can just add them on because this is my list. I make the rules. I guess we're just gonna start, right? Please don't look at my nails too closely. I feel like someone's gonna point it out. Fuck you. There's only Booktok books in here, guys. I didn't read anything niche. First one is Packing Around. Wow. You know what my review was for Packing Around? Let Porn Be Porn. Packing Around is the book that started the whole hockey drama on Booktok, in case you guys know about that or you don't. I made a whole podcast episode about it. I talk about everything. I can't shut up. You can go watch that in case you don't remember, but basically there was this creator on TikTok. She's really big. I actually forgot her name. But she's really big on Booktok. And she was really obsessed with this one hockey team, and Packing Around is the book that made her kind of put hockey on her radar. Ice hockey, I have to be specific. And so that's how all of her obsessions with ice hockey started, and also with players, to a point where she was posting videos about filling her holes by one of the players who was married, and then his wife was like, I don't really like when you say that, and she was like, fuck off, or something like that, allegedly. I don't know. I think that happened in the summer. It's been a while since this happened, or maybe in the spring even, but I read the book to understand why she was obsessed with ice hockey. And the author of this book also, she's like a professor, I think. She's a English professor at a university, and this came out of her penmanship, so that's something to say for America's education system. I take that back. That was mean. That was mean. There's really nothing to say about that book. It's just a bunch of dudes fucking. And a girl. But also dudes. Everyone's fucking. There's like a far-away relationship. Everyone's fucking. And occasionally they play some ice hockey. Occasionally. So I think we should continue. Did I even talk about that makes people think they've read Lord of the Rings tier? I think I went off on a different tangent then. I've made that list, and I'm gonna put Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo in this, so it's fitting that I talk about this. Books like Ninth House and other books in this list, if I have read them at 14, I would have genuinely felt like I was better than everyone. You know what I mean? Like, I would have genuinely felt like, because there's like, it's divine rivals in this. I'm looking intently. I don't see it here. I read that. Don't worry, guys. I edited. Oopsie. Ninth House is a book that is, I think it's new adult by Leigh Bardugo. Sequel came out. It was my first read of the year. I gave it 3 stars. My review was just the word meh. I didn't really know what to think about it because I think that Leigh Bardugo, she has the writing abilities, but the book was just meh to me. But I can't rate it any worse than 3 stars because the writing compared to the other books that I read was so much better. But if I have read that, that's the point I'm trying to make. When I was 14, as a non-English speaker, or I speak English, I'm lying. My first language is German, and my second language is English. So I would have felt really smart reading big words like they are in Ninth House as a 14-year-old, and then I would have just said I really like the book to feel better than everyone because I read a book that has big words in it. And so I think a lot of people, especially with, and I mean this with Peace and Love, with dark academia, they read books like The Secret Society, no, is that a book? A Secret History is the book, or even Atlas 6. The authors use big words, and then people will say, that's my favorite book because they feel better than you by having read that. I mean that with Peace and Love, like if those are your favorite books and you don't feel like that, that's obviously also the case, but I think for a lot of people, not necessarily you watching this, but for a lot of people online, that's the case, especially if they're a little younger. Because I felt like that when I was younger. So they read 9,000, they feel like they've read something intellectually challenging or long, like Lord of the Rings. I couldn't think of anything else. I was thinking about putting the Bible, but I didn't want to be insensitive to Jesus. It was just his birthday, so I didn't want to be mean. Now, Crave is a, you know, I didn't think it was boring. It was funny bad. I think it's in my background. No, yeah. Displaying it proudly. I don't remember anything. Actually, I don't remember the main character's name. That's a lie. I remember. The one thing I do remember is it references Watermelon Sugar by Harry Styles. I'm gonna do anything but therapy. I think there were like 1 or 2 smut scenes in here, so not that much. Not like extensive smut where you're like, girl, let porn be porn. It was a nightmare. Actually, never mind. I'm gonna put it in a nightmare and I'm gonna stick with my decision. I think nightmare is actually also very fitting. Crave is the modern day Twilight, as people like to say. I don't know who says that, not me. And people are really obsessed with this. I think the series is still ongoing, but it's just the writing is so 2015, and I think it came out in 2020 or 2021. And the author is also the kind of author that publishes multiple books in the same year. The Fight and Night by Bridget Camerara. Boring. I don't remember the main character's name. I think that was the book where they... what did they do? They, like... she's like from Seattle or something, and then she gets kidnapped into a magical world, and then the dude is like a monster overnight and kills everybody until he finds his true love, and then he gets injured and he has to go to Seattle or something. I think I've read another Bridget Camerara book before, but I don't remember which one. All of them just bleed together. I was thinking about making a tier that says ACOTAR ruined fantasy, but I wasn't brave enough. I wasn't brave enough because I also didn't read that many books that were ACOTAR inspired this year. That would have been a good tier last year, but I didn't think of it then. But maybe it's going to be a good tier next year. This is an annual thing. Kingdom of the Wicked by the authors Kelly. But I don't remember her last name. I don't remember anything. I know that she just published another book that's in the same world. And I know that there's twins in the book, but I don't remember anything. I can't tell you anything about these books. These are so forgettable books in my opinion, because at some point when you read a lot of books of the same kind, they all just start bleeding together. And I think that's also why I don't believe, like, I hope, you know, but I don't believe that I will ever find a 5-star read. Because nothing surprises me anymore. Spanish Love Deception. As you guys can see, I did read some romance this book. I did try to branch out into different genres. Spanish Love Deception is boring. I don't remember anything. I don't remember the main characters' names. I remember that the dude is like 6'5", has a monster cock, and she's Spanish, so... you know, what more do you need? I read this book in my last video, which was my dark romance reading vlog, marathon, whatever. You will be getting all of the reviews for the dark romance books in January, guys, because I have my exams in January, and so I don't have time to read. I'm so sorry, because that's a good thing to mention. I got the sequel to Divine Rivals early. It was out like a week and a half before release in my bookstore, and I started reading it, and I'm like 200 pages in, but I can't finish it. I'm literally so busy finishing it and then filming a review about it and getting that out on time. I really tried. I really sat down and I read, but I just can't finish it on time. So you're getting that sometime next year. Maybe January, end of January, maybe February, I don't know yet. But you're getting dark romance reviews for all of January because I already read those books, and so I can just sit down and be a little mad. Twisted Love. This is the old cover as far as I'm concerned, because the new cover is just blue and ugly, and this one is also ugly, but of course this is gonna go into anything but therapy. Why the fuck do we write books like this? No, never mind, I'll take that back. I've read worse books. No, have I? Why did I say that? Honestly, yeah, I've read worse books than Twisted Love, but it was the first book that I read for the dark romance video, and it was the least dark out of the other ones. The dude just kills a bunch of people, it's not that deep. But with dark romance, that is just dark romance. It's not fantasy, it's just like in our world romance. I cannot help but make fun of it because the dudes are just dudes. My review for Twisted Love was that the main character, the dude, Alex is his name, he's an Andrew Tate stan. That's honestly like the whole vibe that I was getting the entire time. I was like, something's off about this man. But he is just a man, and I take it, and this is also an issue for me in real life, where a lot of the times I cannot take certain things seriously because I'm like, it is really not that deep. So with this also, the only thing I could think about the entire time was like, he is just a man. Alex is just a man. Let me reapply the gloss. Gloss of the day, guys. I'm gonna start doing this. I love lip products. I have so many. This is the one. Next up we have Once Upon a Broken Heart. Why did I read this? Oh, my members voted for it. Because why would I pick that up myself? I did read Caraval last year, and I remember that would have been in boring. And Once Upon a Broken Heart also goes into boring. Again, going back to the TikTok that I posted, people were just like commenting, why do you keep going back to books of the same genre when you know you're not gonna like them? You bitches keep voting, which is fine. Thank you for putting me through misery. Once Upon a Broken Heart, I of course remember something, and that is that the main character's name is Jax and the other bitch's name is Evangeline, and I also remember that because I just read it in October, so it wasn't that long ago, and I do vaguely remember the plot. But the thing is, this is a very whimsical, don't think too hard about it fantasy book, but I do think too hard about it. I can't turn it off, and so that makes it hard for me to just like sit down and relax when I consume a book like this. And it's ruined a lot of things for me, honestly, being critical. Or I'm not even being critical, I'm just talking out of my ass. I have no credentials, guys. I'm sorry. People keep saying like, who are you to say this? People keep saying a lot of things about me. I'm just a girl. And I'm angry. I'm going to start doing series reviews next year, where I read entire series for one video and review them in one video, or at least I'm planning to. And Once Upon a Broken Heart is a potential candidate for that, but I think it would just also the series is like boring. It would just be a boring video. I feel like there's not that much going on in that world. Peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. A lot of people love this, so peace and love. Nightbane! Ah! Who else loved Nightbane? Not me. Nightbane is the sequel to Lightlark by Alex Astor. Alex Astor and I, we have beef, actually. That's a joke. She doesn't know who I am. She did reply to a comment under her TikTok to me once. No, I just think that everything around Alex Astor is so, how do you say, dubious? I don't know what you say that. Yeah, I mean that. Yeah, I mean that. I made an entire podcast episode about her and her life, and she had a music career at some point that failed, and for some reason, Lightlark took off. TikTok, shout out TikTok. And Nightbane was worse than Lightlark, and this is a sequel. The review is out on my channel. It was my final day of Bookmas, because I also did Bookmas. Everyone who's been here for a while is like, girl, we know. Keep going. But there's not much to say about it. If the third book, there will be a third book. But if it comes out, we don't know if it's gonna come out. Honestly, then I might read it. But honestly, now that we're talking about Lightlark, I haven't checked on Goodreads how many people have read Nightbane in such a long time. Because I was talking about the fact that for some reason, like, no one knows about this book, and the reason for that was that Iron Flame came out on the same day. We know the reason. It doesn't even have 10,000 ratings on Goodreads. That's, like, really bad. I don't know. This is not her thing, writing Peace and Love. It could be, but it's not good. Hooked and Haunting Adeline, both I read for my last video with the reading vlog, and you know where I'm gonna put both? Anything but therapy. This is the exclusive tier for dark romance. I mean, it's just for dark romance. Hooked was really unhinged, I would say. It surprised me because I went from Twisted Love into Hooked, and Hooked was so much more unhinged than Twisted Love. But for both of these books, I have to say, and I mean this with Peace and Love because I know that both authors are like, I wouldn't say admired, but they're like staples in the dark romance sphere. Like, those are the authors you go to, just like you go to Sarah J. Maas when you go to fantasy, like kind of that thing. I don't think they can write very well. I think that the quality of their writing reflects I actually don't know. I actually don't know what I'm trying to say, if I'm being honest. I just think that the way they were writing and the prose that they were using, not saying I could do it better, but I am saying I could do it better because I did do a video where I read out my fanfiction that I wrote about Harry Styles when I was 12, and it was the same quality as this, and I was 12. Imagine my potential now 10 years later. Almost 11? Almost 11 years later, guys. My birthday is in 4 days. I don't know, guys. Like, Hooked was unhinged to a point where you were just laughing the entire time. Or I was. And Haunting Adeline was, I finished that, I started in the vlog, but I finished it off camera, and I don't even know if I can post the reading vlog, because I was vlogging a little bit, but not that much, because I was like, I want to get it over with. Haunting Adeline is truly a piece of shit. My review for Haunting Adeline was that I think the people who like this book are the same people who cannot make a phone call for themselves, or are too scared to make a phone call for themselves. And the reason I said that was because this is another book that kind of not goes with they feel like they've read Lord of the Rings, but more so people who like this book feel superior because they're like, oh yeah, I'm into that dark shit, like it doesn't scare me. And I mean this with peace and love. Not everyone watching this falls into that category, but a lot of people that I see on TikTok seem to be that type of way. Like they just come across with the vibe that because they like something that's disturbing and where the main character literally gets assaulted by the dude, they're like, oh yeah, but he does redeem himself in the second book and I'm into this and blah blah blah. You can't even make a fucking phone call yourself. You're too scared to call the fucking doctor's office. I actually say that with War and Hate, which is a great way to use the new sticker for my members, because there's peace and love and there's War and Hate. I made that. Anybody who truly likes Haunting Adeline, I cannot help you. I cannot help you. I think that books like this do not need to exist, and I will talk more about it in my review. If you have a disclaimer in the front where the author has to say this is not anti-Semitic, that should like make you take a step back and be like, does work like this truly need to exist? Especially because it doesn't exist in a form of education. It's not educational. People on TikTok are just saying, I want Zaid, who is the main character, to fuck me hard. They're just thirsting. They're not being educated about nothing. And I don't want to read the second book because somebody's gonna comment, read the second book. Somebody's gonna come for me. I'm not going to. I think that, again, this does not need to exist. I didn't even say that much about Hook. Hook was just funny. It was just really funny because it was unhinged and funny and you couldn't take it seriously. But that book, I also don't see that many people get thirsty over as I see for Haunting Adeline. There's like this one German TikToker or Booktoker. You guys, you Germans have to let me know. I don't know her name. She sometimes does like lives and I get her lives on my For You page where she just reads. Should I do that? Guys, I got a ring light from my phone that you can put on top of your phone for selfies. So you guys let me know if I should ever do a live stream on TikTok where I'm like reading or something. I don't know what I would do, but like you guys let me know if you're interested in that. Because my boyfriend keeps telling me, he's like, you need to start doing stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I have literally nothing to talk about. I'm saying this as I've already filmed for like 40 minutes, talking about basically nothing. She does those kinds of videos, and then I never really paid any attention to her. Sometimes she also does videos in English. I literally don't know her name. And then she came up on my For You page talking about Haunting Adeline as I was reading it, and she's like, I love Haunting Adeline. Haunting Adeline is so good. It's so dark. And I don't understand. I don't understand. I have no understanding for people who like this book. I'm so sorry. Because why? Okay, enough about those books. Let's talk about something that I read that was YA. Because looking at this, I think the only true no, actually, never mind. I take it back. I was gonna say the only true YA books that I read were Once Upon a Broken Heart and Checken, but I think The Fight at Night and Kingdom of the Wicked are also YA books, and Bane obviously, but they do have sex. I think they have like explicit sex scenes in all of these books. If I don't remember exactly. I know Bane, but I don't remember Once Upon a Broken... There was nothing in Once Upon a Broken Heart. I don't know about these two. Checken was boring. The Checken review is also coming in January. That's something that I haven't filmed yet, but I've read. I gave it 1 star. What? My review was a millennial writing fanfiction about Gen Z. Ellie Hazelwood doesn't write YA normally. She writes new adult. She's the woman that does all the STEM books. Whatever. Her stories are always the same. The characters are just put into different scenarios or different lifestyles, but they're always the same. They always act the same. She can't write different things. And so she has a book coming out next year that's called Bride, and it's about a werewolf and a vampire getting married, and I'm gonna read that, guys. A Peace and Love, like, everybody deserves a third chance, a third and final chance, and that's gonna be her third and final chance. But Checken was so fucking boring, and the amount of references she made in that book was so astonishing to me. And again, you know what I'm gonna say, I'm gonna talk more about it in the review. I think besides Checken and the dark romance books, I have reviews for all of these books on my channel in case you want to hear my in-depth thoughts, because I don't remember anything. Serpent and the Wings of Night, I don't remember anything. I'm so sorry. I don't remember that book at all. That was like also a vampire thing, and I literally don't know the main character's name. I don't remember the plot. There was like a Hunger Games going on and the bitch was a human. I don't remember anything. I tell you the whole entire plot. She was in a vampire competition that grants her one wish, and then she was like, I want my boyfriend to be alive, and then, or no, I want my boyfriend to be the one that has won, and then it turns out he's like the rebel leader or something, you know. You know how books like this go. But I don't remember anything. Sorry guys, sorry. Let's skip. Stolen Air, boring. Not even funny boring. Serpent and the Wings of Night, I think, was a little bit funny. I don't know exactly. But with Peace and Love, like, what the fuck happened in the Stolen Heir. The second book is coming out next year. Do people care about this story? People care about the Cruel Prince, obviously, but do people care about this spin-off duology? I don't think they do. And neither do I. Neither do I, but again, as I said, everybody deserves 3 chances, and this was my second chance for Holly Black. So now there's one more chance for her to redeem herself, which she's not going to, but if I picked up the sequel without having like checked on anything that happened in that book, in the first one, I would be so confused. I don't remember anything in that book. The other ones I could maybe remember a little bit, but the Stolen Heir plot, sorry, completely abandoned my mind. Icebreaker. It's the 2 fucking hockey books in here. Why are people just writing porn stories about hockey players? What's the obsession with ice hockey? I didn't know people were so obsessed with that sport. Peace and love. I feel like Americans should be more obsessed with American football. Anyway, that's not the point I'm trying to make. Both of these books, Icebreaker and Pucking Around, they are just pornography, written form. It's not even smut anymore. The amount of sex scenes is truly obscene, and I am someone, I will talk about sex scenes in books, I will tell you guys what happens, how they are, what's going on, but for some of these books, the one in the like porn category, they were just overdoing it. They were overdoing their boundaries. What do you mean you have to have a sex scene every other chapter? What do you mean? What do you mean? Then, because that just means that there's no plot going on. The amount of time that you spent on your explicit sex scenes from dual POV, you could have spent on thinking of a plot. On taking a writing class, maybe. What is this? Fourth Wing. Fourth Wing is the bane of my existence. Fourth Wing has catapulted hell. Fourth Wing and Iron Flame 2 have sent me into stardom. I'm the person, in case you still don't know, that said Xaden wears skinny jeans, and also Violet somehow had time to shave her coochie while at war on Goodreads. And there's still people who don't know that was me. And we need to change that. We need to change that. It was me. I came up with both of those. And I'm very proud of both of those reviews, I have to say. I have, for both books, an hour-long review. And the only reason I read Iron Flame is because people asked me to, and also because I wanted to get famous. And it's now my most viewed video on my channel. So a lot of people joined me through that review. Thank you so much if you joined through this. Thank you so much if you joined through anything. Thank you so much for just watching. I don't know, guys. I think so much has been said about Fourth Wing, and I don't really want to talk about it anymore. You guys knew it was gonna go a nightmare, right? Like, from the beginning. Because I do remember it. It is too much porn. The characters, they do need therapy, but at the end of the day, it was just a nightmare, and I will always have to live with the knowledge that I read Iron Flame within 48 hours, and it was the, like, go watch my reviews, go watch all of my podcast episodes about the author, about everybody, about everything. Go watch all of my videos while you're at it. Chloe Gong's Immortal Longings, this was her second chance with me, because I read what did she write? Divine Rivals is this one. What did she write? What did she write? Violent Delight. She wrote Violent Delights, and I read that and I reviewed it negatively, and that also got a lot of views for some reason. I think that video is like 18 minutes long. Can you imagine now me doing an 18-minute video? An 18-minute review? The book was pitched as like a Hunger Games-esque book, and also Chloe Gong, it's really fitting that she's above Nightbane, is because she's best friends with Alex Esther, the author of Nightbane. Both of these bitches, they need to do like a vacation together and do like a writing camp or something. Chloe Gong does Shakespeare retellings all the time. My review for Immortal Longings was, stop it, get some help. No more retellings from her, please. Honestly, I don't even remember what happened in that book, but I know that people think that if they read Immortal Longings, because it's a little bit more... Actually, you know what? Fuck that. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I don't think people feel smarter if they read that. She did try to... No, I'm gonna put it back. Because the writing that she did in that book, she tried to make it sound very smart, and you could tell that she was trying to make it sound very eloquent. Did it work? I saw right through her. And so, to finish off this video, we've been going for a while. It's New Year's. You guys want to go party? I'm sorry. You're watching Honestly Sophie. Divine Rivals goes into people think they've read Lord of the Rings. And I know people like Divine Rivals, okay? As I said, I wasn't planning on reading the sequel, but I did get it and I started reading it. And I'm so sorry that it's coming out later. The review is you have to wait for it. I'm so sorry for that, but I should be studying right now. Don't tell my boyfriend. Don't tell my boyfriend. And you know what? I would have also put like a Tahara Mafi book in here. The author of Shatter Me, she also writes in that way, where they're just trying to sound way smarter than they need to be. Like you can, like they're using big words. Like just because you write a book doesn't mean you have to use the word sublime. And just because you read the word sublime doesn't make the book automatically good. People think because they use big words, or books use big words, they're immediately like better. Again, I have to reiterate so people don't get mad at me. I'm saying this as like a general observation. This doesn't apply to everyone who likes these books. You can also just like these books because of other things, or because you genuinely like the writing. That's fine, okay? Divine Rivals was kind of marketed alongside with Fourth Wing. Amazing that they're also about one another. Ah, as if I had planned this. And I think that that was really something undeserving because they have nothing in common. I don't know why they were advertised together. And also I have to say that I didn't even mention that Iron Flame truly ruined like the release for every other book that came out on the 7th of November. This date will forever be engraved in my mind because Nightbane came out the same day and Checken made, and nobody gave a fuck about either of those books because Iron Flame was coming out. And as you can see, guys, that is all of the books that I read this year. I think this list is very nice. I think that it's very accurate, and I hope that next year there will be more amazing one-star reads from me. As much as I complain about bad books, mostly about the boring bad books, I have to say that I do love ranting and I love reading books and making fun of them for you guys so you find enjoyment in them, and so I'm not miserable. Someone commented, "You seem miserable." Sometimes I am, but not right now. Don't worry for me. I will keep hating. I'm the book hate club. I will keep hating in the next year. If I ever find a good read, I will let you guys know. If I ever find something that I enjoy, I will let you know. Don't you worry. I won't lie about it. I will tell you the truth. Other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this ranking. Let me know the worst book that you read this year, and also the best if you have a best one. If you're like me, then you don't. I can't even tell you the worst one out of these. Honestly, they were all like really, not equally bad, but like if I had to just pick one that was the worst, I would honestly say just like Fourth Wing to be a hater. But if I were not being just a hater, I would say Haunting Adeline, because that is truly like on the bottom of the food chain, or however you say. I don't think you say that. I think I just made that up. Let me know, guys. I'm genuinely curious if there's like a book that really blew you away this year. Maybe you didn't even expect it to be as good as it was. I'm always happy when people like, I'm someone who likes listening to people about things that they enjoy, and when you can genuinely feel like that they found something that means something to them and that they really enjoyed. And even if it's one of those books, that doesn't matter to me, like to each their own, as I said in the beginning. I love you guys so much, and I hope you have in Germany you say guten Rutsch, a good slide into the new year, guten Rutsch. I don't know when I will be back with my next video in January, but as I said, the Dark Romance reviews are coming, Checkmate review is coming, but if you don't hear from me, just know I'm crying in this chair because I'm studying for my supply chain management exam, for example. There's more. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting me. Again, guten Rutsch. I hope you stay happy, you stay healthy. Peace and love. And hopefully, I'll see you in the next year. Bye-bye.